knows is coming on, that he knows is going to affect him over time. You know, he's had the hip thing, he's had all sorts of deals, so he might not think he can get to his next contract.
That could also be playing a factor in the reason why the Seahawks are unwilling to meet him halfway, is because they know that maybe, just maybe, he might be damaged goods, and if you're going to pay him and all of a sudden something happens where something gets nicked up and he's out for 4 weeks, now you got, this is what happened last year, this is what happened the year before. There might be a trend with Cam Chancellor where this is part of the reason why he's doing it, because he might not be...
Because he plays so viciously.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
and you know, if what you're saying is, and I hope it's not the case, but the bottom line is, you would seem like you would have better communication and trust between, you know, the players in the organization, to where if Cam was injured like that, you know, number one, the organization would have to know. They would just have to know, just based on the way that these guys get such, you know, great medical attention.
Exactly.
You know, through the team. And and then the flip side of it is trying to get a contract and knowingly you know that you're hurt and whatnot, based on the fact that you are under contract. You know, I guess that would then throw me back into the side of the Seahawks.
Okay.
And go, and just, you can't redo a deal.
Let me ask you guys this. By the way, you're listening to Hawk and Roll Hysteria. That's Commando Dave in the shades. He's got about a dozen pair over there. He might switch to a different type of shade during the show. Steve, Insider Silver right here.
Yeah.
And
the bad beard
the one.
and everything, yeah.
The only.
Your beard's looking good. It's coming
No,
in.
see,
The captain,
no, come on.
Brian Acker, ladies and gentlemen. Come on.
The things we do for our wives.
No, it's looking
Beards.
smooth. Commando's got the scruff going too. I've got a 1 day going.
Football season.
Gotta keep it clean shaved these
My
days.
chin strap, man.
That's right, nice. So, do you think Cam is going to come back before Week 8? Yes or no?
Yes. That's just the optimist in me. You know, I'll fight you for being the biggest Cam Chancellor fan in this room.
Right.
I love the guy.
Hey, we've seen
I
the
had
damn
to-
Cam T-shirts.
I had to disconnect the whole.
Yeah.
I had to disconnect.
How are the sales on those shirts going right now?
I had to disconnect the whole
Mm-hmm.
Bam Bam Cam
Yeah.
online Facebook deal. Leave about 700 or so people hanging because Cam Chancellor's leaving us hanging.
Right.
So. Yeah, so that's the optimist in me saying,
So you
please
think
come
yes.
back.
Yeah,
In fact,
before
in the
Week
words
8,
of
yes
Winston
or no?
Wolf, pretty
Oh,
please.
without a
Sugar
doubt,
on
he'll
top.
be back. No doubt about it. Why wouldn't he? I mean, this is the reality has just hit him when everybody's starting to get their game checks and they're starting to get their first crisp mint checks, and his is $255,000. Who's really, at the end of the day, I understand you're backing yourself in the corner. You're holding out, standing up for principles. But there's a mint check right with your name on it, and it says $255,000. You need that check. He's going to be back in, and I'm probably going to put this within a period of 2 weeks. He'll be back in, probably less than a week.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, and it wouldn't surprise me if he held out all season. And if he does hold out all season, that means his contract restarts. He's back to square one next offseason, and maybe he'll try to force a trade to a team that's willing to give the Seahawks something, probably not the value that I think that they should get, and the value I think that they should get for Cam Chancellor is the value you get when a player goes who's signed a franchise tag and goes and signs an offer sheet with another team, 2 first-round picks. It's not going to happen now. You got a better shot during the offseason that something like that happens, but I think he'll try to force a trade. That's just... Listen, I don't have any insight to
You know I'm about to play the Rams, right?
I understand, but once you dig your heels in,
You're upsetting me.
once you become stubborn
No, I
like
know.
Cam is, and anybody that's followed him on Twitter and made a comment to him knows because you've been blocked. Even Dave Softy Mahler, KJR has been blocked by Cam Chancellor. He is a stubborn son of a gun.
We've seen this before.
Why are you blocking? Why is he blocking people?
Because I think it's smart. Because instead of talking trash back to him and getting himself on Twitter, in trouble on Twitter, he just blocks him and it's done. And that's the smart thing to do. He's a better man than me because I can't not respond to people on Twitter. So
We've seen this before in this town. Sean Kemp comes to mind.
forgot about that.
This type, but when you say stubborn, a player, I remember when Sean Kemp emphatically said, I will not wear the jersey of the Seattle Sonics. Now, when a guy says, I'm not going to play for the team anymore, you can work that kind of stuff out.
Right.
But when he says, I'm not going to wear the jersey, done. I'm not going to do it. And so I hope that Cam Chancellor does not have that type. But you're saying you think he does, Captain. I'm hoping he doesn't have that kind of stubbornness to him. because when it all comes down, I think Bob Condotta said he got the guaranteed $17 million. He's got all the money. So I understand 4.5 versus whoever,
Yeah.
but you know what? My money that's in my pocket is my money in my pocket. I don't care how much money you got in your
Right,
pocket.
you can't spend
Captain.
your money.
I don't care how much this guy's got in his pocket. And this is what this is about.
I do. I care what's in my pocket.
Exactly.
Huh?
You should.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Right, but you shouldn't care what's in my fucking pocket. I'm trying to tell you here.
Whoa, easy, man. I'm just messing with you.
I'm just being Cam Chancellor.
I had to
And
take a step.
talking about
I
what
had to take a
somebody
step
has
back.
in their,
I was like,
in
easy,
their
Cam.
pocket and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's what it comes down to. You got $17 million in your bank account. So whatever someone else is making on an annual basis, man, just go out and play. So it couldn't be starting this season off on a worse note. But as we talked about on the OTA podcast, the Seahawks season on an overall couldn't be starting in a better place in St. Louis.
Let me ask you guys this question, and I know that we're getting very close to the next segment. Let's just say we have the trading deadline coming up, week 4? Week 4 is the trading deadline?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say like a team like the Raiders, the Texans, come calling with a number 1 pick. Just one. One number 1 pick, and it's next year's number 1 pick. Cam Chancellor, the number 1 pick. Now, and I heard what you were saying.
For who? Aaron Curry? Who you didn't get?
Let's just say that some team let's just say some team came calling with the number 1 pick, which is a value commodity. And as far as I'm concerned, especially in the NFL, draft picks are worth more than solid liquid cash. As far as I'm concerned, if somebody came calling with the number 1 pick, do you pull that trigger?
No, and here's why.
That's
Because
what I'm saying.
it's not enough for me as a Seahawks upper management guy to set a bad precedent. Now any player that wants out, they're just going to sit out until they're traded,
Right.
force a trade. It's got to be tremendous value to where I'm willing to go out and do that and show, okay, if you're going to be stubborn, if you're going to try to force a trade, it's not going to be easy because we're going to have high demands on our end for what we get for you. Secondly, one first-round draft pick, the Hawks have shown that they do better in general in the later rounds.
Right.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Right.
So, outside of Earl Thomas and maybe Russell Okung, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that the Bruce Irvin, he's fine, but I first-round pick?
Just curious. Just
So
curious.
I don't know. It sounds like, Commander, you wouldn't do it, right?
No.
No, for the record, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
Either.
Yeah,
I'm just curious. I mean, a number 1 pick is quite valuable, so
That's why I was optimistic about him coming back by week 8 because I want Cam Chancellor on this team.
Yeah, I do too. Cam, get back, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, man. But you know what? How do you save face if you're Cam Chancellor's agent? You're not here to make a point. Because I hear a lot of people on the internet say, okay, Cam, you've made your point, now get back. He's not here to make a point. He's here to cause an action.
right.
That's what he's here to do with this holdout. So there has to be some sort of action taken by the Seahawks, however minimal, to allow him to save face and come back to camp. That's my opinion.
I'm just hoping that I'm just hoping what the reaction isn't going to result in stiff salary cap penalties. That's my only concern is I don't want to see the Seahawks getting into a situation where the New Orleans Saints are in where they're jettisoning players like Jimmy Graham because they're so far over the cap.
You know why Cam's irritating me? Because he made us spend 20 minutes talking about him. When we got game, it's Blue Friday and game week.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough,
so
man.
let's do this. Let's get into the game. We have a Rams team that has been a thorn in the side of this franchise, and Pete Carroll, and I put it on the show notes. I said Pete Carroll needs to listen to the Who. Don't get fooled again. Okay? You should be playing that on repeat, Pete. Right here. Repeat.
Yeah.
See the shirt? Repeat. You didn't get it last year. We'll get it on the Who. Don't get fooled again because Fisher has your number.
Repeat Townsend.
So the Hawks defense without Cam Chancellor is still a very good defense. Now, Earl Thomas is a guy that we're going to see, how are you, buddy? How's your conditioning? How's your physical ability? The first time you lay that shoulder into a guy when you come running up full speed like you like to do and bounce off a guy, we'll see how his health is. But the defensive line's looking good. Richard Sherman, even though he's coming off the non-Tommy John surgery, which he decided not to have,
Right.
we'll find out about
Forgot
him.
about that.
But The Rams' offense, I believe, is much improved. With Nick Foles at quarterback, now they have somebody that they can rely on, bank on, and Sam Bradford might be a better quarterback in the end, but he was never on the field for the Rams, so you can't judge it against that. They have some a pretty decent wide receiving core. If I take a look at their Tavon Austin, they got 2 West Virginia guys. They got Tavon Austin, and there's one other guy from West Virginia.
Kenny Britt?
Yeah. Was he a West Virginia guy? I think it was Stedman Bailey. Stedman Bailey was a West Virginia guy, but they have Kenny Britt, Stedman Bailey, Chris Gibbons on their depth chart, and of course you mentioned that the tight end, which I think is going to be a huge force, Jared Cook.